Okay, comma. It looks like I won't be able to make the 2:30.
About 8.5 years ago, I was working my first job in New York City, and I noticed that I couldn't type as well. I thought maybe it's carpal tunnel at a young age, or, I slept on my hand or something. They rushed me over to the neurologist, waited some time, and they noticed that other fingers were starting not to work, and then a shoulder, and then another shoulder, and another hand. Until about 3 to 4 years ago, I became fully paralyzed in my hands and arms. They think that the motor neurons that control the muscles are dying, and they don't know why. Because I was losing control of my body and I didn't know what was gonna happen, if it was gonna go to my legs or it was gonna go to my breathing, I tried to control other things in my life, like relationships and work. And I didn't really realize that until friends started to say, like, this is manifesting in other ways. And that's when I realized that you can show pain not just in tears, you can show in actions in other ways. In my apartment that I've hacked, I don't feel disabled in it because everything works for me. So yes, the medical definition is that I have a disability. But when it comes to the social definition, I believe that these products are disabling me. And I say that because the only time I really think about my disability is when I'm challenged with a product that I can't use. And then I hack it, and then I can use it. Even though I was living by myself and my arms didn't work, I was able to figure out a way to feed myself. I was able to figure out a way to type. But one of the big things in the winter is that I have to stay bundled up. So I needed a coat that I could slide on easily myself. My hands were becoming purple because I had nothing to cover my arms when I went out, and I was getting sick. So I was referred to Grace.
Hi, my name is Grace Jun. I am the Executive Director at Open Style Lab. Open Style Lab aims to make style accessible for people of all abilities, regardless of cognitive or physical disability. We bring engineers, occupational or physical therapists, and designers together to collaborate with people with disabilities to co-create anything that is related to style. So it could mean wearable tech devices to accessible garments, but they're doing it together. We were able to make Christina a coat with boning across the neck so she could bite onto the boning and flip the coat over her head. And most importantly, the sleeves were kind of like these sacks where she could rest her arms. It was also two-piece, so there was a dress component, but she could also wear the coat whenever she wanted to outside.
Open Style Lab opened up my creativity, and being able to make this change with them was so important to my happiness. So really, giving me that gift is one of the best gifts I've ever got in my life.
Ta-da. Since I met Christina, it just kind of took off. Not only did I see her as a collaborator, but she became one of my best friends.
The friendship and admiration just grows, and she became a bridesmaid in my wedding that happened most recently. For my wedding, I wanted to be able to hold the bouquet.
So I spent probably the first 3 hours in the morning as a bridesmaid trying to figure out how to make this bouquet stay. We need to figure out like a weight balance with this flowery thing and clear bra straps that we need to put together in 3 hours. So we hacked it on the fly, it worked, and then it easily snapped off, and I was like, good, job done. Now we can go celebrate and get some drinks and congratulate you. Oh, there is conductivity. Since I met Christina, we've ideated so many different ways of looking at clothes and assistive technologies together.
Do you want it for both toes or just one toe?
I think just one for now, because I type with one.
Yeah.
And we always have side projects. And frankly, I wouldn't have it any other way.
All right. Let's clothe him.
Perfect.
Let's see. It works. Yay.
Okay.
All right, so this material's good.
It was a dream of ours to have a board member with a disability at Open Style Lab to make it as diverse and inclusive as possible. Christina seemed to have the passion. She had the drive, so she's like, let me do it. And I was like, okay.
So I guess we could discuss about reviewing for summer, right? 5 weeks, so we'll have our final show on Friday.
I wasn't a designer by trade before I started Open Style Lab, but now I'm a designer.
Let's place that there.
This year, we're working with girls that are in high school that are disabled, and I hope I do the same for those girls and show them that they can be designers.
5 weeks. See, one of them is kind of like,
What's great about inclusive design is it says, you know, to do really great design, let's not design for people, let's design with people. You're bringing people in who maybe have a disability, maybe live their life a different way from how you as a designer live, and who really know how to put into words and show us their personal experience.
As designers or engineers or business leaders, every choice we're making is tipping towards either exclusion or inclusion. One of the ways to tip it towards inclusion is designing for and with people with disabilities. But there's many different ways to describe inclusion. It just means many different things to different people.